Hello, everyone. It's me, Orpheon, your infant dragon sorcerer here, and this is going to be part 4 of What If Asta Ate the Bird Fruit Model Phoenix. When we last left off, Asta was noticed helped out the Wizard King while he was disguised as an old lady at the black market when he was with Vanessa and Noelle to find a sort of magic item that will allow her to control her magic. She got a wand, and then he was training, and then he ate a third rumble ball, and he was exhausted, and he was really tired out when he was able to walk all the way back to the Black Bull's hideout. And it took him 3 days. 3 days to he was just gone for 3 days, but he doesn't remember. But we as the viewers know that it was because he ate a third rumble ball and he transformed into his monster form and just flew all across the kingdom, wrecking stuff, but not hurting anybody. He just flew up to the sky and then he landed somewhere, mainly on the beach resort, but he was exhausted and he couldn't move for a whole day, and it took him 2 more days just to get back to the Black Bull's hideout. And now he's going to be recommended for the dungeon mission that appeared at the edge of the Clover Kingdom. So the Wizard King does tell Yami that he recommends Asta and Noelle and someone else who's a member of the Black Bulls. It was Luck. Sorry, allergies. Yami then tells Asta that him, Noelle, and Luck are going to go to this mission involving the dungeon. And Asta still doesn't know what a dungeon is, and everyone has to explain it to him. And it's only magic knights are allowed to go towards dungeons because they're traps, ancient magic traps, or some deadly traps and stuff. So yeah, no one else but magic knights are allowed to go there. And the Wizard King recommended Asta because of his anti-magic sword and his ability to turn into that flaming bird. And Asta's like, okay, I guess. So who's going with me? Of course, Noelle and, I don't know, Luck. And Luck says, all right, this is gonna be fun. And on their way to the dungeon on the edge of the Clover Kingdom, Asta recommends that he turn into full Phoenix mode and let Noelle and Luck ride on his back so he can fly over there to the dungeon. And Noelle is saying, what? There's no way I'm getting on your back, especially when you're on fire. And Asta says, don't worry, I can control my flames so they don't burn you. And I don't think he even can burn anybody. They only heal, I think. And Noelle reluctantly agrees, and Asta transforms into his full Phoenix mode, and he's a big bird, and he's just saying, alright, get on. And Luck is so excited, he actually never thought he'd ride on the back of a giant flaming bird. And Noelle's grabbing onto the flames that are all over Asta's bird form. And they don't burn. They actually just feel sort of warm. They feel soothing. And then Asta flies over to the dungeon with Luck and Noelle on his back while he's in his Phoenix form. As soon as they enter the dungeon, Luck, Noelle get off of Asta and they enter the dungeon. And while they're entering the hallways of the dungeon, No Luck, he basically asks Asta about his anti-magic sword, and also he's asking about that transformations he's able to turn into a giant bird and have flaming wings. And Asta's saying, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if it's magic. It's kind of like an ability I gained. What do you mean gained? Well, whatever. As soon as you learn how to fight better and get stronger, you and I are gonna fight whenever we get the chance. Alright, Asta? And then Luck and Asta, as well as Noel, they're entering the inner parts of the dungeon, but they notice that Luck is looking at them, and he starts tripping multiple magic traps inside the dungeon, and he's doing it on purpose, and Asta is able to cut down the traps, including the magic circles, with his anti-magic sword. So Asta flies everywhere to make sure Luck doesn't trip any more traps. And he's using his wings. He's basically in hybrid between human and phoenix mode. So his wings are pretty much keeping him up in the air, and his talons are holding his sword, and he's using both his talons to grab onto the sword handle and swing it and hit all the magic circles that Luck keeps tripping on purpose. And also saying, "Look, what is wrong with you? Why were you doing that on purpose?" And Luck say, "I don't know. I just wanted to see if you could actually survive and dodge all that." And then Luck manages to sense one of the Diamond Kingdom's mages, the one who uses that black smoke magic. And I don't know if I think he's one of the 8 Shining Generals, I think. And yeah, Luck goes after him to fight him and the mages that are with him. And while this is happening, Asta and Noel are trying to figure out a way to the treasure room to figure out what type of magic they can gain, or what type of items are in the dungeon. Then, in this part of this what if, Asta and Noel aren't going to trip any more traps, so they're being super careful. As soon as a magic circle appears, Asta slams his anti-magic sword onto the circle, destroying it. Then, Klaus, and Mimosa show up. And they didn't have to save them, because Asta, he can move around the air and the ground really fast. So he's safe and Noel's safe. And then Klaus is looking down on Asta and Noel because they're black bulls. He's saying, Black bulls, what are you hooligans doing here? We're on a mission and that was ordered to us by the Wizard King." And Asta then says, "Oh, really? So are we. The Wizard King told us we should go to the dungeon and go to the treasure room and see what's inside." And Klaus is shocked, and he's saying, "You're lying. That's a lie. There's no way the Wizard King would ever ask as members of the Black Bulls for any situation such as this." And then Asta says, "Whatever, but at Four Eyes, listen, and I may be a commoner, but I know for a fact that I can do a lot more or help out, especially in this mission." And then Mimosa talks to Noelle, and she says hello, and it's been a while. And then Klaus and Asta are just arguing, and then Klaus is getting tired of it, and then Asta tries to talk to but is just not answering. He's just being silent, and he's just not even looking at Asta. He's just standing there. And then Klaus says that we should have a race. If you really were recommended to help us as by the Wizard King, then let's see who's better and who can get to the center of the dungeon first. And Asta's like, alright, bring it! We're gonna beat you easily. And Asta and Noelle basically head to... Basically, they have no idea where they're even going. They even encounter some traps and even a treasure chest that happened to have turned out to be a living thing. And Asta and Noelle were arguing with each other, and then later on Miro, the bird that is always on Asta's head, Nero, he pecks on Asta's head, and Asta's saying, ouch, what is wrong with you, Nero? And Nero actually sits on a piece of rock, and he points his wing towards an area that is gonna get them closer to the center of the dungeon. But while this is happening, Luck is fighting against the Diamond Kingdom mages, and one of the 8 Shining Generals is basically using his black smoke magic to surround Luck, and to make him lose a little bit of his mana, and it's making him weaker. But Luck is remembering his past with his mom, and the fact that he was an odd child. He was strong even for a commoner, and his mother abused him, and yet when she found out that as a child Luck beat a noble with his magic, then she was happy, and she told him that you need to get stronger than anyone. And as soon as she died, he still was smiling, and he didn't show any other emotion. And even as he's fighting this mage, he's still remembering that he wants to fight. He wants to get stronger to earn the approval of his mother, who's dead. And then Luck is almost about to pass out from his mana being almost completely drained, but Asta and Noelle show up and save Luck, and Asta grabs onto him using his talons, and then he flies down and tries to wake Luck up. But Luck, he's basically exhausted, and they're surrounded by this Diamond Mage's black smoke. And Asta comes up with an idea. He actually uses his blue flames to try to heal Luck's wounds. So he tries to figure out where it hurts, because he's just using his blue flames to envelop Luck, and it's not burning him, it's just healing him. But it's only temporary. It'll only last for a couple of hours, 2 hours max, possibly. I mean, we don't know how long Marco the Phoenix's healing ability, flames, will last, so I'm going to put it on a time limit for 2 hours. Just until Asta learns how to better use it properly, and since it's not magic, he can put it into objects, and then the objects can be placed onto someone, and it will help them heal. But it won't exactly regenerate lost limbs, so it can't regenerate lost limbs. So that whole thing is not going to happen. And Luck begins to regain consciousness, and he's asking Asta, what is he doing here? Stay out of my way. This is my fight. I'm not going to let anyone else fight this guy. He's mine. And Haas is like, what are you talking about? We're a team. We're supposed to help each other out. We're part of the same squad. And then Asta tries to talk to Luck, and they're still in the middle of a battle. And Luck says, fine, I guess I'll let you help this time. but I get to land the finishing blow. And Asta says, what are you even talking about? We're not gonna kill this guy. Besides, what did he ever do to you? Well, except this, but he's not trying to kill you. And then Asta comes up with the idea of letting Luck distract the Diamond Kingdom mage by letting Luck blast his lightning magic towards him, but letting Asta fly in his phoenix form around and come around him, then attack him with his anti-magic sword, and it works. And the Diamond Kingdom mage is hurt, but he's not bleeding or anything. He's just when Asta hits him with his anti-magic sword, he feels drained, and then whenever he gets the chance, he escapes with the other Diamond Kingdom mages in tow. Then while this is all happening, this battle with Luck, Asta, and Noelle against this Diamond Kingdom mage, Klaus, Mimosa, and Yuno are heading towards the center of the dungeon. And they actually manage to get there, but they don't have any way to open the door. So, but out of nowhere, Mars begins to attack Mimosa, hurting her badly but not killing her. So she's out of the fight. She uses her plant magic, recovery magic, to heal herself, but she can't move. So then Klaus tries to attack Mars with his steel magic, and then it actually does not even hit him. It was a diamond clone. Or was it mineral clone? Mars is just glaring at Klaus and Yuno, and Yuno tries to attack Mars, but Mars makes more mineral clones, and these clones are attacking Klaus, and he's using his magic to attack, making steel drills that pierce through the mineral clones. And Yuno's trying to head straight for Mars, but Mars is making swords made of minerals and attacking Yuno. But Yuno gets a couple of good hits in with his magic, but it doesn't really cause that much damage. But then, when Klaus and Yuno are about to be killed by this huge mineral sword that was about to annihilate them in one hit, Asta flies in, and he basically heads straight for the blade, and he destroys it with his anti-magic sword. And then Klaus is like, what is that? Why did it save us? And when Asta came into contact with this giant mineral sword, it spread and shattered into tiny pieces all over the dungeon and in front of the treasure room entrance. So it looks like Asta was killed, but he actually is regenerating, so he's alright. He's covered in blue flames, and he's regenerating really fast, and he's doing well. And he asks Klaus and Yuno and Mimosa if they're alright. And then Luck shows up along with Noelle, and Klaus is shocked. He was like totally freaking out, and he's like, what are you? What type of magic was that? And Noelle basically talks to Klaus, saying that don't bother trying to understand it. He has anti-magic. And then Klaus is like, that's impossible. If that's true, then it's impossible for a mere commoner to be endowed with that type of magic. It should have been in the hands of a noble or something. And Asta, he's finished regenerating with his blue flames, and he then tries to attack Mars, but he's making more mineral clones, and they're heading straight for Noel, Mimosa, Klaus, and but Luck is attacking some of the clones, and he's saying, "Oh man, these things are weak. Why don't I just attack the big guy?" But Asta, he's in his Phoenix form, and he's not only moving faster and avoiding and constantly regenerating from the damage that Mars is causing with his mineral magic and his attacks connecting, but he throws pillars and spears of mineral crystals, and they hit Asta, but he basically regenerates, and he's trying to go around him and attack him with his anti-magic sword, because his flames are usually meant for regeneration, not for attacking. And they don't really burn people, they just heal them. They have a healing effect, but it's temporary for only 2 hours. So he's only using his bird form in conjunction with his devil fruit power. And he notices that Mars is in a huge suit of minerals, and he's pretty much just tanking all of Asta's attacks, but then Asta manages to avoid an attack with his anti-magic sword, and then he lands the finishing blow and hits Mars at his torso, knocking him into the water, and then along with him, Asta. He took a lot of damage, and I don't know how much damage he's able to take, but he's still regenerating, but he gets tired and he falls into the water. And look, he's like, "Oh no, quick, someone go save him." And Klaus is like, "What? Why? He can't swim. He's never been able to swim ever since he was little." And then everyone's like, "Oh, come on, give me a break." They grab Mars and Asta out of the water, and Asta's trying to regain consciousness, and he's coughing up water. And he says, "Thanks, guys. You saved my life back there." And then Klaus talks to Asta. He asks him, You, commoner, well, what was up with that ability of yours? If it's really anti-magic, or what was up with that transformation you used?" And Asta says, "I don't know how to explain it, but I guess it was just part of what I can do. Must be because of this grimoire that I got." And then Klaus uses his metal magic to bind and capture Mars, but even though he has Mars' grimoire, he's unconscious for now. And then Asta pulls out his anti-magic sword when he's feeling a little bit better and he's regenerating, getting his stamina back. He cuts a triangle right at the entrance of the door to the treasure room and basically destroys it. And there's an opening for everyone to enter the dungeon's treasure room. Everyone's seeing a bunch of gold and jewels, and he does encounter and get the wind spirit Sylph, or is it Belle? I can't tell. I don't remember. If you know what the wind spirit's name is, Sylph or Belle, it's basically attaches itself to Yuno's 4-leaf clover grimoire, and he now has wind spirit magic. And Asta is still carrying a bunch of treasure, and he's trying to figure out if he can possibly find a way to send it to his family at the church, and Sister Lily, the priest, and the children. So that way it'll at least help him financially. And while he's picking up treasure and putting it in his pockets, he's actually managing to not only get pecked on the head by Nero, and Nero's pulling on his hair, pointing him towards a certain hidden door that opens only for him because it's reacting to Asta's five-leaf covert grimoire. And it opens, and then there's a sword. Nero lands on the sword, and it's telling Asta to pick it up. And as soon as Asta goes near it, his grimoire opens, and a new page opens, and he gets a new sword. The sword goes into his five-leaf covert grimoire, and he's got a new sword now. But right when everyone was trying to figure out what type of stuff they can use, like magic items, for the Clover Kingdom, Mars breaks out of Klaus's binding magic, and he's using flame recovery magic, Phoenix Cloak. And then Klaus and everyone is shocked that he's actually okay, and he's conscious, and he's trying to kill them all. And Mars is saying that if you're weak, you die. The weak must die, and the strong will live. And Asta, Klaus, and Mimosa, Noelle, and Yuno, they're all ready to attack. Klaus uses his magic to create steel spear drills and tries to let them attack like Mars, but he ends up blocking them with his mineral diamond suit that he's in, and it's big. So even with Klaus's magic, every time some of Klaus's magic connects with Mars's suit, it somewhat barely does any damage to it, and Mars just makes even more soldiers made of minerals, and they start attacking Asta and Noelle, Mimosa, everybody. And some of the clones actually hit Noelle, and Noelle is hurt, and Asta's really mad. He's trying to fly, and he's flying towards Noelle, and he uses his blue flames to heal Noelle, and he actually manages to heal her, but it's only temporary. This pain she feels is going away bit by bit, and Mimosa's doing the same thing, while Yuno's trying to use his wind magic to attack and protect Noelle, Asta, and Mimosa. Klaus is using his steel magic to try to make more drills and make countless attacks that are barely even making a dent in Mars' mineral golem. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like a big mecha suit. It's kind of like a big suit that has very, very strong defense and offense. Then Asta begins to try to do something. He actually not only tries to heal Noelle, but he then flies over to where Mars is, and he actually decides to eat one of his rumble balls, and he tries to go with Talon Point, and he actually manages to damage the giant mineral sword that Mars made using his magic. But every ounce of damage that the mineral magic is inflicting on Asta, it's regenerating, but it's not powerful enough to actually hurt him. And even if Asta is attacked by this Mars's mineral magic, it's hardly doing much damage, so it's kind of like a stalemate, and Klaus and Yuno are using their magic to attack Mars, and then Mars screams and he yells and makes a huge barrage of mineral spikes and jet crystals that attack all directions, and it hits Klaus and they're not dead, they're just hurt a little bit. And then Asta, he tries to eat another rumble ball, and he goes into beat point, and he actually tries to fly straight towards Mars, and then he pecks at Mars' head, and it doesn't hurt him because he has this giant mineral suit that's around him, and he's healing and using his flame recovery magic. And Klaus is trying to figure out, how is this possible? One person can have two magic affinities? It's impossible. Wait, this might have something to do with the Diamond Kingdom experimenting on children, putting magic items into the children themselves, turning them into nothing more than lab rats, and then they kill each other just to survive. It was the final test. And then Asta tries to constantly attack Mars using his beat point, but eventually it wears off, and he tries to fly away, but he accidentally turns into his hybrid form, and then he turns into his human form. He can't control his transformations, and they're acting out of control. And Mars is trying to attack Mimosa and Noelle, and Noelle's healed a little bit, but it's only temporary, so Mimosa is using her recovery magic to heal the damage that Noelle sustained from that Mars's previous attack. Then, as soon as Asta was on the ground being pummeled by Mars, giant mineral golem, he's stomping on Asta, and he's not regenerating. He's actually stomping on Asta. He's not regenerating. Asta's trying to use his anti-magic sword to block and absorb the shock, and it's only making it harder for Asta's body. He's getting hurt. He's getting a lot of damage, and then Asta shouts to everyone, "Everyone, you all need to hide and get out of here, because I'm about to do something crazy, and you're all gonna need to hide, because I might not be able to control myself in this form." He then gets punched by Mars, and he gets tossed right towards the wall, and Asta is about to eat his third rumble ball, and he actually begins to transform. His body begins to grow along with his swords, and then one of his swords actually transformed into sort of like armor for Asta, and it was all black. And his blue flames are enveloping this black armor, and he's really big. His giant phoenix form, it's actually gotten a lot bigger, and his wings, his talons have little armor plates on them, as well as a chest plate and a back plate. So Asta begins to screech, and he says, he's just screeching kind of like Moltres from Pokemon. Or mainly, I don't know, just try to picture Asta screeching in his phoenix form while he's wearing sort of like black armor plates that are around his chest and his talons, his feet, and the back of his back in this giant form. If any of you guys are artists, please try to draw something like that. I would really love to see your artwork on certain versions of Asta or Deku in these what ifs I make. But if any of you guys are artists, please try to draw it on the computer, or try to share it on social media or on my Instagram or Twitter. I would really love to see them, because this is actually pretty fun for me. Alright, back to the what. While Asta is in his giant phoenix form, he shrieks and then he charges towards Mars, and with his talents, he completely destroys Mars' mineral suit. And Mars tries to attack Asta again, but his mineral sword, the giant mineral sword, just passes right through him. And Asta then attacks Mars with his talons again and again, and Mars is taking a lot of damage and hardly able to recover his body from the injuries that Asta is inflicting on him, because they're very powerful, and actually gets pushed back to the wall of the done treasure room, and Asta actually charges straight from Mars, and his beak actually hits Mars, but Mars reacts in time by creating his mineral suit for it to take damage instead of him, and he's trying to recover using his flame recovery magic. So Asta, Noel, Klaus are terrified of what they're seeing before them. They know that Asta can transform to something that's powerful. And then Asta begins to start looking like he's exhausted, like he's dying. But Asta, his time is almost up because it's already been a couple of minutes, and he can only hold this form for 5 or 10 minutes tops, because he's not used to it and he doesn't have full control over it. And then then unlocks the wind spirit, and as Asta is about to get hit with a giant mineral sword from the head down when he was in midair, the wind spirit then blows, breathes, and then the breath is powerful enough to create a massive air pressure of mana and magic that obliterates all of Mars's armor. Sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm reading a script. But Mars, he's just out cold. He receives damage from Asta in his bird form, and Asta grabs onto him with his talons and is about to kill him, but he then notices that there are other people around and he doesn't have control. He's trying to attack everybody, but then has an idea. The water. We gotta throw him in the water. And tries to call the wind spirit Sylph, and then she breathes, and then the magic actually hits Asta, but the black armor, it's not on his body anymore. It actually goes back into his grimoire, and as well as his sword. So Asta receives a whole bunch of damage, and he gets tossed straight into the water, or with everyone attacking. Klaus, heck, even Mimosa tried to use some of her plant magic, that sunflower she used. That kind of looks like a solar beam coming out of a sunflower, aimed straight for Asta. And all the spells that were combined or collided with Asta. And he falls into the water, and he's in human form. But everyone is tired, but someone has to go get Asta, so Noelle does it. She can swim, so she heads down in the water outside of the treasure room, and then she grabs Asta and swims out and throws him out of the water. He's unconscious and he's not able to move. Klaus is shocked but impressed and terrified of Asta because of what he can do and his magic, that anti-magic he has, and plus those transformations. He's just incredible and ordinary, even for a commoner. Even for a commoner, he's quite powerful. Klaus acknowledges his strength, and then Klaus uses his chariot, his magic, to create a chariot to also get some gold and treasure out of the dungeon, and he carries everyone. And Asta has a lot of treasure in his pocket, so yeah, he has a lot of spare money to send to the church that he pocketed from the treasure, and he did because, well, they're on the mission, and he had a little satchel bag that carried all the gold and jewels and stuff. So he's going to give that to the church so that way it'll help them financially and probably get them some more food and come visit them. So, yeah, Asta's unconscious. Is just hardly able to stand up, and Noelle, she's a lot better actually, because it was already past 2 hours, but by that time, Mimosa was able to completely heal her. And Asta was unconscious for 3 days, and they took Asta to the Wizard King in the capital, and he was treated by the royal medical well, basically the magic. I don't know what he's called. I don't know what his name is, but he's a mage who specializes in healing magic. So he uses water magic to try to heal him, and he's actually completely healed. So yeah, for the past 3 days he's unconscious, and that's the end of the dungeon arc. So guys, that's where I'm going to leave it off this time. As always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, I really hope we can make it up to 500 subscribers and possibly over to 1,000, so I can finally do this what if special that you guys suggested to me. It's what if Deku was Darkseid. So yeah, I'm going to do that as a 1,000 subscriber special. And if you guys want that to actually be the case, please let me know down in the comments so that way I can let it be sort of like a live stream of sorts. So that way you can all subscribe to my channel, and also please subscribe to The Sins because we're already at 300 and we need more subscribers. So if you guys like what if YouTubers and what if videos as a whole, please subscribe to my channel, check out all my other videos, and please vote on the polls that I came up with, because like, for example, the polls that I came up with, such as what if Deku was a girl and had Bayonetta's powers. There's a poll about who should I ship Deku with since she's a girl and her name is Izuna Midoriya. And also, there's also another video that I made a poll on. It's what if Asta had the Flash's powers, and we left off at that part when Asta, Klaus, Mimosa, and Luck were coming face to face with Mars in his giant mineral golem suit. And he's using flame recovery magic. So that's where we left off in that part. And I put a poll on that video asking, should Luck get the Speed Force, since Asta temporarily gave Luck some of his Speed Force and Luck's lightning turned red instead of blue. Because, you know, Kid Flash's lightning was red in the Flash, and he was pretty much starting off as a speedster, so he'll get much faster. Hopefully, he'll get to yellow lightning, but Asta in that what if is going to get blue lightning instead of yellow, because think about it. In that what if Asta's going to get blue lightning while he's fighting Mars. So just letting you all know, please vote on the poll so I can make another part of what if Asta had the Flash's powers. Okay, well, gotta get started on my next video. Thanks. Infinity Overdrive, infinite realities, infinite possibilities. See you all next time. Sorry I kept switching.